Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tool to Type Radio, episode 204. Tool to Type Radio is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I, as always, am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And I'm Mike LBSUTKE Coppola.
Yeah.
You smile every time you say it.
I know.
Just say LB Sucky. It's so much easier.
No.
You can't do it.
It's pronounceable. Just pronounce it.
That's not the magic. The magic is the
So,
letters.
in some sort of fucked up shit here, I have done 3 of my last 4 episodes with you guys.
That's actually true.
Yes, I'm not really sure how that happened, but it's good. It's good.
It's not good for LB. It's stressful. It's stressful
Well,
for him.
we'll wait till we get to the comments this week. I think LB
Okay.
might be pleasantly surprised.
All right.
But before we get to that, I just want to remind you all out there that you can play along with the official Tool to Type Radio game, drinking game, and you can find that at tooltoplay.com/drinking game. And we'll start off, LB, with feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you leave us feedback, it cuts you off after a minute, so be short, concise, and to the point. Otherwise, you're going to feel like a douche when you have to call back and re-record and say, hey, can you ignore my last call? I messed up. I went a little long. I'm going to do another one. Oh, wait, I wasted time. Let me give a third call. And we've had calls like that, and those people sound like douchebags. So, Archdemon comments. Loved the episode last week. I'd love to take credit for getting the LB guy to contribute. The show was funny as hell, and I enjoyed it both in the live stream as well as the podcast. I hope you guys do it again in the future.
There you go, LB.
That's
The
special.
last thing is already coming true right now. But LB, this guy wants to take credit because he shat on you the previous episode, not knowing that we were going to do an episode with you last week.
He thought he would never see you
That
again.
was like, that LB guy never talks, blah, blah, blah. And then we did another show with you, and sure enough, you talked more.
Yeah, I mean, he came into one show where I really wasn't feeling it. Didn't have much to
You weren't doing the bull dance?
The
doing
mojo
flow?
wasn't there.
Was not feeling the flow. But last week I had it going on. I had more to input and give out.
Yeah, you gave it. You gave it deep.
Gave it hard.
There you go.
Give it deep and hard. Also, Random Guy comments. I listen to 6 gaming podcasts each week. Tool to Type Radio had the most comprehensive E3 coverage of all of them, maybe more than any other 2 combined. Thanks for your hard work. So
Well-
that's not just for me, that's for all of us. We cranked out that E3 episode last week, and it was 3 hours of glory.
Dude, it was.
I was gonna say,
it was
man,
the
that's
longest.
some info.
Yeah, it was the longest 3 hours of my life. But
God damn.
that, to be fair, and I actually have to give Derek credit, which I don't like to do. But he took all those notes from an entire 4 days of doing stuff. It's almost like he wasn't there. Like he just kind of like was viewing it happening and recording it and then just spit it and purged it all back out the next week. So the kudos to you for even remembering all that shit, because I don't remember half of it. So
Well,
good
thank
stuff.
you, sir.
Good
Thank
stuff.
You, thank you. It was a good time. Like that's the hard part about E3 is you have such a good time there, and you're absorbing so much information that, like, you get back and you're like, all you have is your notes to work off of because you've had information overflow. You're just like, okay, this, and you're trying to remember everything, and you get back and you're like, holy fuck, what did I even learn? But like, obviously the big things stick out, but everything
Yeah.
else kind of blends together.
Yeah, especially those late nights.
Yes,
They blend
Yeah,
quite
the nights
quite
are the best
magically.
part.
Yeah,
Well, Packers Party's the best part.
there you
but
go.
Then the nights.
Greg, then Packers
all right.
party, then the Knights. But yeah, okay. Move on.
All right. Well, if any of you want to give us some feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or fire us off an email at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, I've got nothing. Do you have anything, boys?
No.
Well, actually, there's a
Ooh, here we
Battlefield 3 site mixer on this month, June 29th. I believe it's going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you head over to the Battlefield 3 forum, there's a sticky forum at the post looking for just announcement and let people know what's happening. And I guess they're going to concentrate on the new map pack because the final release for all the platform comes out next Tuesday, which includes a 360. So then everyone can get their close quarters map pack and go around and just shoot the shit out of each other. So should be a good time.
I'll be there.
Nice. And
I will
Hitman
actually
saying
be
there's a Halo mixer. Not sure when that is.
We have a Halo mixer?
If Hitman types faster, we could tell people.
Well, it's not necessarily a mixer. There was somebody just trying to put together a little scrim with some other guys from another site kind of thing, kind of like a big team battle, kind of see what happens.
That's
So,
kind of old school. We used to do that a lot more often. The big team battle things. I miss
Yeah.
those. You know, when that game was awesome.
Let's turn back the clock 4 years.
Yeah, right. And we'll do this again. Now that'll be fun. So if you guys, keep a lookout on the forums if you guys want to partake in either of those things. It's usually a lot of fun. The mixers are always a lot of fun, especially when they're not serious. When they're serious, the fun seems to dwindle a little bit. So we've been stepping away
Or
from
when they're
that.
the official Xbox ones, and
Right.
like that one we did for Halo Reach, Jay, and you and I were in that lobby, and the whole like a month before, it's like Too Old to Play, the website for older gamers over 25. So we split up the lobbies. You and I own a lobby together, and the first flood of people starts coming in. They're like, "Hey guys, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, Mom, I'll be right there. I'm playing with these guys." Yeah. Like, how did we end up with a whole lobby full of kids?
I don't know, but I honestly, and I hate saying it, I had so much fun that night. Like I didn't even like Halo
It
at
was a
that
good
time,
time, though, yeah.
but we had a great time because they were the kids were so funny. They're like, "You're so old and you're playing games. Why are you old?" You're like, "What the?
Why are you good? You're old. Why are you guys good?"
Oh God, never again. Maybe.
On that, why don't we hop over into what we're playing? Boys, what have you been playing this week?
LB, what are you playing now?
I'm still playing Diablo 3, playing a little Halo Anniversary stuff, and I'll probably pop in Battlefield 3 a little bit, just kind of get warmed back up to it.
Being ready to take on some newbies.
Unleash
skills
the
fresh.
rage.
What are you playing, Derek?
I have been playing, let's see, more Dead Island. I went back to that. At some point I gave up on that, and then I went back and I'm playing with Tiff, my good buddy Mr. GBMS. And the co-op in that game is awesome. I cannot recommend it strongly enough. And it's got like the quest, and you pick them up and you follow through, but it ends up being really, really fun. And we've been playing that like 2 nights a week for the last, I'd say, month and a half. I really like the game. If anybody bought it and stopped playing it, go back to it. Find some friends to play with because it is a hell of a lot more fun than playing it by yourself. But it's really a solid game.
Interesting.
And then besides that, I've been playing some Halo CE Anniversary, going through doing the campaign on co-op again on Legendary this time.
Wow. Still in the
And,
Halo.
achievement hunting.
Well, I, believe it or not, have tried a game that pretty much has already
Is
failed.
it on
but
the Xbox?
No, not that. Let's not go that far.
What was I thinking?
Let's not be
That's
crazy
fucked
here.
up.
No, I'm trying Rift. It's an MMO that kind of came out and didn't go anywhere. And believe it or not, the reason I decided to download it is because at E3, the developers were so passionate. They let me in when I didn't have an appointment. I think we had some free time one of those days, Derek, and I was just kind of wandering around. Wanted to see the game. They got me in, and they actually impressed me enough for me to give it a shot. And at level, I think, 30 now. I've been playing with some friends, some old friends, Ytex from the site. Some of you guys might know him. He's actually in chat right now. And a couple other guys, and we're just kind of hanging out. It's fill-in time. It's one of those fill-in time games. I'm not sold on it.
But
But,
the fuck out of that game.
yeah, that's why I gave them the shot. Because it's like every weekend these guys are like, new raid, expansion, 7th expansion. How long's the game been out? 2 months. It's like, what?
New content, new
Right.
level cap. Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Like even last year at E3 when we covered it, they had such huge announcements. It was like,
yeah.
all right, I know the game released 3 months ago. Like, and you expect like when you're booking appointments to rehash like, hey, here's our stats since we launched.
Right.
But they're like, all right, we just released the 1.1 expansion this morning, and we have the 1.2 coming out next week, and then 1.3 is coming out the week after that. And each of them introduces like 30 new raids.
Yeah, and that's what basically happened at this year's E3. They announced an expansion pack. And I was like, when's the expansion pack coming out? They're like, probably, really, really soon. But just so you know, before the expansion pack, we have 3 more patches with 6 more raids are coming out. And they're just like spitting this information at me. I'm like, how much does it cost, to play now? And it's basically free until the first 20 levels. And then the monthly was like, I don't know, crazy cheap. You bought 3 months, you got it for $40 plus the game. You don't have to actually spend the 60. So I said, hey, it's my
Not bad.
holdover. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop into the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it is Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. And that is out for the 360, the PS3, the Wii, the 3DS, the DS, the Vita, and the PC. After 4 years, Traveler's Tales has finally released a sequel to its ever-popular LEGO Batman game. The game features all of the enhancements that have been seen in the more recent LEGO games, including like the dynamic split screen, if you will, where you're not tied to your buddy and you can actually move around and have a good time. In addition to characters from the Batman universe, the game has been extended to the full DC universe. You're going to be able to play guys like Superman and a whole bunch of other characters. 70 overall characters. Also, for the first time in LEGO series, instead of just the characters miming their speech, like where they're like, and you know what they're saying, but they're not saying it, the entire game is fully voice acted. The game looks great. Like previous LEGO games, it's bound to provide countless hours of solo and co-op fun. It's been getting solid reviews in the high 8s and low 9s, and I'll tell you, I'm definitely picking this fucker up.
This is like your.
We know you hate your kids, so you're not getting this.
Well, have they finally come out with like true co-op on it, or is it?
It's always been true co-op. Both players can do whatever. Like either player can be the lead. It's really true co-op. I played every LEGO game with my youngest son, who's now 8.
Well, I mean, like if you had a buddy, like if you did it over the internet. Not somebody split screen.
It's split screen co-op. It's with a family member. Hence, your child. Is your child going to be over the internet?
If I'm lucky.
I was going to say he'd like it to be that way. Ship him off.
Well, technically, that's how our house is here. We got 4 Xboxes hooked up, and everybody's in different rooms. Sometimes all playing the same game, but some games, you got to couch co-op it.
I mean, I actually wouldn't mind trying this game out if it was co-op. Not LAN over the internet.
Well, they tried that in one of the LEGO. Was it the original LEGO Star Wars, or it was when they did the full 6-movie LEGO Star Wars?
Oh,
the
it didn't
complete
work.
Saga. They did that online co-op thing, and it just, I don't know why they gave up on it, but it literally was just one game, and then they went back to the couch co-op because the game is more suited for that couch co-op where, you're just with someone there and you can chat, and you got more visual feedback, and I don't know what makes it different, but it just feels different versus playing with someone online. But it also serves to help you play with your kids, which I know LB doesn't prefer, but it really is fun. Sit down with your kids. Like I said was it last week? Yeah, I said I started with my little guy when he was 4. All of my kids started like your little guy is older than that, right?
Yeah, he's 5.
Yeah. So this
actually,
is like a
they
perfect
both are,
title.
But,
Yeah. So pick this up. You really will have a good time. I know you don't think you want to game with your kids because you're full of hate and rage.
And spite.
Well, see, part of it is that...
Which I will be as soon as they show up over that little fucking gate right back there behind you. And then I'm going to be full of rage. But right now I know you're full of rage.
Well, I think it's more like I don't have a lot of patience when somebody else is playing. So, if I'm sitting there and I'll be like, hey, let's go this way.
Well, that's what they fixed after it started with Lego Indiana Jones, where what used to happen is the screen, you both had to stay in the same screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And when someone was fucking up, they fucked up. Like, get over here, just follow me. And you start freaking out, and they're like, I'm stuck behind this house. So you had to back up, and then they had to go down and around to get back around. Yeah. And then with the original Lego Indy, they did this kind of thing where if you moved far enough apart from each other, the screen kind of did a diagonal split screen. You each had your own screen to work on, and that's how it's been ever since. So you no longer are. If one of your players is a complete retard, you can still win the game.
So LB's kids can help him through this game, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
That they can help him out. That's fair.
You should get it.
You will not slow down your kids as a complete retard.
But yeah, I don't know. This game looks decent. It's funny. It's with the Lego stuff. I've always thought they look good, but I've never really, I don't think I'd ever have a reason to buy one. So I'm just kind of.
Jay, next time I see you, you and I will sit down. We'll do some couch co-op.
Oh, that's so nice.
Make you feel good about yourself.
Maybe I could rent a kid or something.
You could. That's probably pretty much illegal, but I'm sure you could somewhere.
So do you think
it's frowned upon?
Do you think it's so it's weird then if I stand outside of like a grade school or something and try to take someone home with me? That's weird.
That'd be very bad.
Oh no, but if you go to the PTA and be like, I'd let you rent your kid to play a Lego game with me, that's totally fucking legit.
Yeah, I'm basically babysitting. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's win-win.
Yeah.
And you're paying them. So how can you go wrong?
Wow.
All right. Before this gets more fucked up, Next new release out this week is also a multi-platform release, and is Brave the video game. And this is out for the 360, the PS3, the Wii, the DS, the PC, and the Mac. That's right, I said Mac.
Blech.
Another month, another movie game release, and it is what we expect. First off, why the fuck do they put out video game movies, or video games based on movies, right before the movie comes out? Like, no one wants a movie spoiled, but they do this every single time. Like, the game comes out on the Tuesday, the movie comes out on the Friday. So if you really give a shit about the movie, are you really going to play it on Tuesday and then spoil the fucking plot of the movie for yourself on Friday? Maybe you don't give a shit about Brave, and this doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but imagine if it was a movie you cared about. This is a third-person action/shooter game. It supports the Kinect and the PlayStation Move, and it kind of follows along with the plot of the movie, which, once again, comes out Friday, so you really don't want to see it yet. The game looks pretty decent, and that's kind of what we come to expect from Disney Studios. Like, their games are, or at least look decent. Whether they play decent or not is another question. In addition to the single-player campaign, the game also supports couch co-op, which we know LB loves because he loves family time and spending time playing games with his kids.
And I'm about to laugh.
There's no early reviews out for this yet, but just based on movie games in general, with the exception of Lego games that are based on movies, usually movie games suck. So I'm going to assume this is going to be pretty shitty, but who knows?
Has there been, can you think of any, God, I'm trying to think right now real hard. Has there been?
Yeah, Code and I had this question on an episode of Told Type.
I feel like I've had this question as well,
could not think of a single one until we brought in the Lego games. And then every single Lego game based on a movie, whether it's Lego Star Wars, Lego Batman, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Harry Potter, they're all super successful. But you ditch the Lego out of it, like that Harry Potter game was abysmal. Like,
yeah, right.
You can't make a movie game.
There's got to be one.
Well,
there's not one. Something.
Didn't the first Transformer, do okay?
But that's not really a movie game. That's a game based on toys that were a cartoon.
So it's not based off Michael Bay's deal.
You really can't say it's the movie, especially the new Transformers game that's coming out in the fall.
Yeah, that's its own show. Like its own.
That has nothing to do with the movie at all.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing, even with like Batman, Arkham Asylum, and all those games. Like, I guess the question is, what if they just made that game like the movie? You know, they take on the movie script. They could get that smash hit that they've been looking for. Maybe they just steer clear away from that on purpose.
Yeah, because they're always creating their own.
Yeah, it's their own stories,
their own script, if you will.
I don't know. I dare someone to think of a good game. I guess that's the big one. If someone could bring in or call in maybe next week, I would love to hear if someone could think of one that did decently well.
We've put out this call in.
I know, it's like no one's ever.
It's always
they fear answering it. They're like, oh god, no.
You know, somebody, if you like, think back to every game you've played. If you've played a good movie game, just let us know. 773-527-2961, podcast@tooledtoplay.com.
Done.
Not Wolverine Origins.
Was that count?
Sorry, that's not even, that's not based on. That's like a side story, kind of like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum.
It's got to be a. Well, what is it? I guess what's the criteria? If it's part of that,
you can't just take
universe,
a movie character and then create a new story for him. That's like taking a comic book character. Like the first Spider-Man game that had Bruce Campbell as the narrator was pretty good for the Xbox, but
actually
it had nothing to do with the Spider-Man movie.
It's loosely based on the movie.
Yeah, like if you're copying a movie's plot and it's a tie-in game to the movie, there have been no good movie games. If anyone, we got live chat tonight. Somebody prove us wrong. Say something now. Pokemon, fuck you, Pulse.
That shit counts, dude.
Pokemon.
What?
No, he wins. Pokemon.
It meets the
Pokemon's not a movie.
There are Pokemon movies. Counts.
Yeah, but those are direct to video, and they were done after the video game and the card game.
No, sir.
Pokemon was invented as a way to make kids buy cards. Come on.
What's that other? What's that new shit now though that you've got that you were buying? You're buying up
Skylanders.
Skylanders.
Fuck you, Jay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying. Is there a game coming out for Skylanders? I can't remember. Oh, that's right. It was one of the biggest games at E3, and they gave you what? A little toy to go along with it. That's all I'm saying.
They gave you a toy that now is selling for $180 on eBay. So
craziness. That's all I'm saying. Just speaking my mind here.
All right. Last new release is out for the Xbox 360 and is Steel Battalion Heavy Armor. This is the third game in the Steel Battalion series, and it follows 2002 Steel Battalion and 2004 Steel Battalion Line of Contact. Both of those were original Xbox games. Once again, you control a giant mech, which in the Steel Battalion world is called a vertical tank. Same fucking thing. Now, gone are the epic 40-button multi-stick mech controllers with the 3 foot pedals and the million buttons. And basically what you have now is a combination of your controller and the Kinect play. So you're using your controller, you're pulling down virtual parts of your mech, and then interacting with those. And it's not quite the same, but it allows you to have a 40-button experience without 4 controller cords plugged into a single Xbox. Now, that sounds pretty cool, but the early reviews have been complete shit for this game, including The Verge, which they gave their very first 1 out of 10 review score to this game, saying that the fine movements required by the Kinect suck. And they actually found themselves accidentally ejecting themselves from the mech or the vertical tank. Like you pull down something and the only way out of it is to try to push it back up, but by doing that you push a button and it ejects you out. And
oh god,
the Kinect is not there for those fine-tuned movements. You want to dance, it's got you down. If you want to sit on your couch and use a controller and then try to use your hand and have it use your wireframe, there's something wrong with it. And the fact the game has your wireframe in the upper left-hand corner the whole time, and it seems to know where you are, and then it doesn't do it right, it's a sad statement against the game. The game played well at both PAX East, which, we played it looked awesome, and it actually was responsive. And at E3, people played and it looked responsive. But those are in kind of this really...
Yeah, that's a bubble, dude.
...specialized setup where they've already tweaked out and they've got the right lighting, they've got the right distance, they know where you are. But it seems like when you take it home and you're in all these varied Kinect setups, it just does not perform. And it's kind of sad because it really had potential, because that controller was the thing that held most people off from Steel Battalion. What was that controller originally, like $199?
$200, yeah. $200.
It was way up there, dude. It was way.
Didn't we see though, Derek, at E3?
For those of you that don't know, it was like a controller, probably 3.5 feet wide. It had 3 sticks and some foot pedals that went underneath, and it had 40 buttons across it. And it plugged into, on the original Xbox, it had 4 cables coming out of the back that plugged into all 4 controller slots, because it basically simulated that many inputs across the Xbox, and the only way it could get them was over those controller ports. And what they tried to do is say, okay, let's take the basic movement controls, move them to a controller, and then take the remainder of those 40 buttons and let you do it with your hands, which in the Minority Report world would work. It's just in the Kinect world, where the current Kinect is just not capable of that, it just does not live up to the hype.
Didn't we see?
That's sad.
What company was it? I think it was Razer, right? We saw at E3. We had just glimpsed it. They had one of the big mech controllers there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah, yep.
So is that for this game specifically, or are they just making that sort of as a generalized mech thing?
That was their generic mech game controller.
That's what I was wondering.
That wasn't it's designated for a specific game. That's like, hey, you want to buy a giant ass controller that you can use for every game you have? If you're playing a flight game, you can use the right stick. If you're playing, some other kind of game, you can use both of these sticks. And it only had one USB port.
Right. I mean, I guess
that wasn't even a console controller.
No, that was for the PC. But I mean, I guess the whole thing is, and this is, I think, what every year that I go to E3, they push Move, they push Kinect even more. Kinect this year, I think, was really the big thing for Microsoft. And I don't think that they can do anything with this. I almost feel like we've had what? Has it been 2 years almost with Kinect?
Yeah.
Kinect was the fall of 2010.
10? Yeah, okay, so 2 years. It just feels like this is as far as it's going to go. Or do you guys get that feeling that there is the software can't take it?
This is as far as it's going to go in its current state. If we all remember, before Kinect launched, there was some hardware in the Kinect that did some of the processing that they eventually pulled out to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
And they offloaded that to the Xbox CPU. I think that, and we may get back to this later in the show, ladies and gentlemen, but I think if that hardware processing was back in the Kinect, I think that it would actually be capable of doing what the developers are trying to use it to do, which is track those ultra fine finger movements and go from there.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the future brings, I guess. I don't know. Not interested in the Kinect still.
No, it is sad.
With that, I guess we're moving on to what's interesting in gaming news. Is this correct?
That is.
All right, let's
First
do this.
story.
First story. Let's
Wow.
see. Yeah, he likes to yell it out. That's how he does it. It's that lets everyone know that they're listening to Derek. Alleged Xbox 720 document sparks internet speculation. What do you know? With zero details emerging from this month's E3 regarding the next Xbox or PlayStation, game industry followers over the weekend proved just how hungry they are for any little morsels of information regarding the next generation video game hardware. An alleged Microsoft document dated 2010 details what's supposed to be the next Xbox video game console, with a mention of cloud gaming capabilities and heavily updated, what do you know, Kinect motion control camera hardware, among other features. While some outlets are reporting on the document as a concrete plan for the future of the Xbox, the 56-page document, if legitimate, seems like more of a let your imagination run free Xbox 720 internal wish list, as opposed to, a concrete plan for the future. The document originally appeared...
What the fuck? That's not what it says.
Doesn't
You
matter.
can't read that.
I like to ad-lib sometimes. Jesus Christ, man. This is how we do this. Can't be by the book all the time, Derek. You got to let your spirit fly like a butterfly.
Gotta spice it up.
When we're
right.
quoting someone, we kind of have to quote them.
Whatever.
Otherwise, we can get in shit for that.
Fuck them. All right, it's like Activision. Bring it on. I cut that out. Cut that. We're cutting that out later. The document originally appeared on social publishing website Scribbled, but has now been taken down from the website.
No, it's Scribd.
Is it scribed?
Or
It's actually
Scribd.
scribed. It's
You
not
can say
scribed either.
I think it's scribed.
It's scribed. You're all wrong.
I
has now
said
been
I think it's scribed.
All right, you're right, LB. You're free to go. But has now been taken down from the website at the request of Microsoft lawyers Covington and Burlington LLP. A move that has only given rumors more traction, of course, or traction. Love this shit. This is my favorite way to do this. Copies of the documents have proliferated the web, even though it was taken down from the original source, of course. It's not like someone was like, hey, let's not download this. Let's leave this here. If it is a hoax, it's an elaborate one. A lot of effort, obviously, has been put into the graphs, the artwork, the business strategies, and the proposed product roadmap 2015.
Yeah, there's even fucking cartoons in the thing.
For real?
They have,
Yeah.
Seriously,
cartoon
who sits
sketches
at their
of people
house?
sitting on couches
Yeah.
and playing, and
Come on.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I was
who's
gonna
gonna sit
say
there?
I actually have the PDF of it. If you
Do
want, I downloaded it. Yeah,
Can't bring that
so-
up. We're already gonna get sued by Activision. We don't have time for this.
Okay, I'm just saying.
How can we get sued by Activision?
I don't know,
It's
because
fucking
Activision constantly wants to sue us. This is what I've learned the last
This
2
is the
months.
one time they're not going to sue us. Or Arlie Ermy.
Yeah. Well, give him time.
The only
all
person
right?
that's actually sued us.
Right, or attempted to. Let's be fair. So, what were some of these alleged 720 details, you ask? The document priced the console at $299. That can't be right. With a release date of holiday 2013, which would make sense, and a predicted 10-year life cycle. We know that always works out. The document also mentioned support for Sony's Blu-ray disc format. Oh, crap. Native 3D output, concurrent apps, and a 6-time increase in performance compared to the Xbox 360, while being designed to be scalable when it comes to the number of CPU cores available. It goes on to detail Kinect 2, an upgrade to the original Kinect motion control hardware that features better accuracy, improved voice recognition, and support for motion tracking for up to 4 players. Streaming cloud games and cloud storage, which is kind of a big thing now, so that makes sense, were also mentioned in the document, which named cloud gaming company OnLive as a competitor. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. Glasses for the Kinect are also described with the codename Project, what is that, Forzella? It's a shitty code
No,
name.
it's Fortaleza.
Fortaleza.
That's horrible.
Fortaleza.
They have the
Fortaleza.
shittiest names for their code names,
Fortaleza.
by the way.
I don't know if the exact.
What
one
was
is,
the
but-
original Kinect one? I was like, some fucked up name. Made me think of like having babies or something. I was like, remember that shit? It's weird shit.
Project Natal.
Natal. Ugh, gross.
Oh.
Augmented
Yeah,
reality eyeglasses that, as the leaked document describes, would start off as living room Wi-Fi based peripherals for more immersive entertainment experience. In later years, 2015, those glasses would be radio 4G based mobile devices in the vein of Google's Project Glass, which, if you don't know, is the whole let's get social media and Twitter on our eyeballs. That is ridiculous. Also described is synchronization between user mobile devices, PC, Xbox hardware, which might sound familiar if you've been keeping up with the whole smart glass thing. Microsoft told Gamasutra that it does not comment on rumors and speculation. That's a shocker. Obviously, it's the big story of the week, and I guess the question is, how much of this do you two believe? Derek, what do you think?
You know, I don't doubt that this was an actual document from 2010.
Oh, wow.
I really don't. It seems there's enough in it. This would be like the ultimate scam if somebody came up with all this shit and came up with their own illustrations and all this stuff. I have no doubt that this was a legitimate document in 2010. How this has been modified until now, here we are almost mid 2012. Some of this stuff doesn't make sense anymore. Some of it's obviously changed. OnLive is not as a big a competitor for them as they thought it would have been probably in 2010 when OnLive was blowing loads all over E3. Like, hey, look at our shit. You can play all these games. You don't need any hardware. But, you know, there's portions of this that I do not doubt. The Kinect 2, basically what the original Kinect was before they took that shit out. The whole virtual reality Project Fortaleza glasses, they look awesome. I don't know. It's a 6 times faster gaming console after 5-6 years. Is that unreasonable?
Well, I think that's my problem with this right now is a lot of it just seems like stuff that me or you or anyone that is even remotely knowledgeable about video games would say this is the future, right? And there's nothing in there.
Well, I don't know if somebody would have just come up with these fucking glasses. That's the part that adds credibility.
The glasses is the only thing.
Nobody that's talking about a console is going to be like, yeah, and there's going to be glasses that do augmented reality. No, augmented reality is for your handheld. It's for your 3DS.
But isn't that an idea that they can just grab from Google? Making that reference to Google is like, hey, what else would be kind of a cool thing to give credence to this? Oh, Google just did their glasses shit. Let's throw that in there. Put Microsoft on it. Make them a competitor. That works. I don't know. I feel like someone could do that.
I don't know, but they even touched on the smart glass stuff before that was even announced.
Oh, did they? That's different.
Well, assuming this document is...
Right, from 2010.
This document took some time to create. Even if it was fake, it took more than 2 weeks, which is when smart glass was originally leaked.
Right.
Right before E3, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Albie? Is it, I mean, are you believable? Do you think it's believable? I don't know.
When you look at the PDF, or when I looked at the PDF, it looked pretty legitimate. I mean, like Derek said, there's a lot of work. It's 56 slides long, and everyone thinks, oh, it's just 56 slide PDF. Well, go ahead, dude. Try to do a 56 slide PDF.
Yeah, totally.
A few days.
And generate your own cartoon artwork.
Yeah. There's that on top of it, too. I mean, some of it, though, when you're reading it, I'm like, a $2.99 price point? Are you kidding me? There's no way it's going to be $299.
That seems really cheap. Yeah.
I think maybe if they have multiple SKUs, okay, maybe you have like a basic version at $2.99, but then your high-end version is probably going to be, I'd say, at least $3.99 right? or $4.99.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, look at the original Xbox when that came out. Now, I'm going to be rude and Google this as we go, but
that's fine.
I remember there was a story that came out at some point where it was a big story when the Xbox actually became profitable. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yes, Xbox.
But that's, to be fair, I think Console Career has been doing that for years. That's not a new thing that the Xbox did. I mean, I know PlayStation was losing money hand over fist on PlayStation 2. So I think that's a normal business plan, is to lose the money on the hardware, gain the money back on the software. The problem is with that $2.99 mark, that just seems a lot of money lost, I guess is what it just seems like that's too much. I don't know. Does anyone remember what it was at launch, the original Xbox or 360? Sorry.
I could have sworn it was
$2.99, $3.99.
It was at least $3.99. It might have even been a little bit more.
It feels like it would be close to
$2.99, $3.99, or $3.99 and $4.99.
That sounds a little more likely to me, just because I think the last time, I knew a console was coming out. In my head, I think every time a new console's coming out, I need $500. I don't know why that number seems to pop into my head every time I think of that, but I feel like those game consoles are generally around there.
November 21st, 2005, United States. Xbox 360, $399.99. Xbox 360 Core, $299.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were out for $3 with their low SKU.
with their low SKU. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and I could see that for the low SKU, but not for.
No.
I guarantee it's going to be multiple SKUs. I think it's going to be 2. You're going to have a low price point and then a super fucking price point with. It's either going to have twice the amount of storage or whatever extra little bells and whistles. Maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe they'll throw in a game or some extra like cloud game with it or something like that.
Well, if all this is true about this other hardware, I mean, really, it's kind of an easy thing to predict. If you have one SKU that comes with the Kinect 2, or one SKU that comes with the Kinect 2 and the eyeglasses, and one SKU that's just the actual game console, that's a little believable.
See, I don't.
That's a little believable.
I don't think they want to split this anymore, though. I don't.
Right, they want
I
one
think
experience.
That's the problem with Kinect, is that not everybody had it.
Yeah, I
And
could see that.
I think that I don't think they're going to split it again this time. I think these are going to be standard peripherals that everybody has at least one of.
Yeah, well, time will tell. We've got another year, hopefully, to figure this out.
Yeah, just about a year from now, we'll be hearing about E3
In Las
coming
Vegas.
this holiday season.
Yeah, right.
The Xbox 720.
We'll finally get to hear, and one more thing at the next E3. And we'll be like,
Yes.
finally. Yes. I wonder what that
thing
is.
that was notably absent this year.
Yeah, exactly. Bizzle.
All right,
You're
next story.
Microsoft announces Surface Tablet. The Microsoft big announcement speculation game can finally come to an end as the company announced a new tablet device called Microsoft Surface yesterday afternoon during a Los Angeles press event. Microsoft calls it the companion hardware innovation for Windows 8 and OS. What?
An
Oh,
OS.
sorry. An OS that was designed to work on the mobile devices specifically. The Surface includes a kickstand built into the device, as well as an optional cover that contains a touch typing, super thin keyboard, and multi-touch trackpad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the device runs a full version of Windows 8, it presumably will run any games that work on the OS, but we'll have to wait and see how those games play. We can also presume that the Surface will work right alongside any other smart glass features to be announced for the Xbox later on. So what are you guys going to get? You're going to get in line to buy the first ones? You're going to camp out overnight? Come on.
For me, at least, this was, like I think I said this during our big E3 thing, this was the only interesting thing about the 360 that I saw. Whether or not I'd stand in line for it, I think we have to see how it actually works with the Xbox, especially the entertainment side of things. I will say this right now.
Especially where Smart Glass is going to work on everybody else's platform. So
right, but
do
you want this in your video game?
About the Surface tablet,
but do you want it in your video game? No. Do you care? Are you going to flick shit at the screen and like? Are we going to do Angry Birds on the arcade? Like, what is the point?
But you played the Wii U. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean to a degree, but the difference between me and you, I think, is I ain't going to stand in line to grab one.
Okay, when you played the Dreamcast, did you enjoy having a VMU?
Loved it. I did.
So
I did.
There's something to say about having a secondary screen while you're gaming, and that's the Smart Glass side. So let's put that aside. Let's say everybody's equal when it comes to Smart Glass and the Xbox. This is: do you want an iPad competitor made by Microsoft that runs Windows that may run games that are fucking 80 times superior to the games that run on your iPad because they're actually fucking, like, imagine playing Diablo on your fucking on your Microsoft Surface.
Well, that's to say if it can reach that level of quality. I don't think we are.
No, but that's what the original specs are guessing at.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, do you think we're going to hit that level of quality really on a mobile device or on a tablet?
Oh, I think on this mobile device, I think this tablet is more comparable to, remember the laptops that came out a couple years back where like you fold up the screen, and you twist it and you fold it back down, and it was like a slate.
Yep.
I think this is more comparable to those, except it's always in the slate state.
Right, it's always in the slate
state.
stage. Yeah.
It's like a rhyme.
No, but I mean, then the whole idea is how much is it going to cost me, right? I mean, that's immediately where you go to. If you're telling me I'm going to play Diablo on my little tablet device, I'm going to bring it around, take it into the shitter with me, kill some demons. That's a lot of money. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's going to be higher price than the iPad. I'm going to assume $799 for the high end SKU.
To play a game like that, you'd even go. I almost think that's low to be honest with you, for that SKU.
No, because you've taken out certain portions of the hardware. You've taken out, USB 3 ports. You've taken out HDMI ports. All you're left with is the device itself. So you're paying for the CPU, the graphics card, the memory, and some sort
And
of
the
storage.
screen. And the storage. Yeah.
And the screen. Yes. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. I don't know.
So
Would you buy that, LB? Is that something you'd even need?
I don't think so. I mean, if Derek's right and it's going to be like a $7.99 price point, I'm like, no, I'm going to, get another laptop for another like $200 and I can get a decent laptop. If the high end was closer around to maybe 5, maybe to 6, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're in a shitty position because you either need to come out with something super high powered, right, for your top end SKU, but then you got to be careful about bumping up against price against like Ultrabooks and that kind of thing. How close you can be up against that?
Right.
So
I don't think they care. I don't think they care if they cannibalize Ultrabooks.
You think that's part of it? I mean, I guess that it doesn't really matter to them. The money's the money.
Now they're winning twice. They got their
Right.
operating system and their hardware.
Yeah.
Like, you can win once and get your operating system on someone else's Ultrabook, or you can win twice and you get the money from the hardware and you get the money from the OS. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. And they definitely, obviously, they want to move even deeper into that market anyway. I think the big thing for Microsoft with at least the mobile platform is Apple does have them kind of running scared. And any way they can gain entry in there, any way they can actually get some surface and start getting some traction is good. I don't think there's any downside regardless of who they're competing with. They want to win. They just want to get into the marketplace and make some money. So if they do it, more power to them. I still don't have an iPad, so it would be one of those things where, if it comes out sooner or later, it could be something I could see myself picking up. So we'll have to see where it ends up in the price. Interesting shit, though, I will say.
This is something I'm really following closely now.
Yeah.
All right. Next story.
Next story is, are we at the what the fuck story already?
We are at this week's What the Fuck story.
What do you know?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? This week's WTF or what the fuck story. Kinect enabled ads coming to the Xbox Live this fall. And this is game politics. As if you didn't have enough distractions on Xbox Live already, which, by the way, now when you go into your dashboard, it's a side note. It's ridiculous. I feel like I'm seeing everything but video games at this point. Microsoft has decided to create new ads that take advantage of the Xbox 360's motion sensing Kinect technology. Just another reason to buy a Kinect. Coming to Xbox Live this fall, the ads called NU ads or new ads will let consumers choose an ad-inspired adventure, a little mini-game you can play while you soak in the deliciousness of being served up information about this or that product. God, this sounds so awful. Microsoft has released a video that shows consumers just how these little adventures will work, though I am not sure what consumers will get out of it besides engaging in some casual ad-sponsored shenanigans. Toyota Unilever? Who the fuck is this company?
Unilever?
Who is this? Do they do it?
Unilever?
All right. And Samsung Mobile USA
Well, you
will
gotta
have
say it, otherwise I can't cut you back in. Unilever.
Unilever. You happy now? Jesus.
There you go.
And Samsung Mobile
Don't need to
USA.
be a douche, okay? I know here
I
it's
should just-
live and you're already fucked up 4 times.
I
in
don't-
front of
I don't like
people,
it.
But when it comes to the podcast, you're gonna sound flawless. You're gonna be like Toyota, Unilever, and Samsung Mobile USA. and
I
you're
like
gonna
the
sound pro.
flaws. I personally like the flaws. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Toyota, Unilever, and Samsung Mobile USA have already inked deals in these new ads on Xbox Live. Thoughts, people?
All right. This is my thought on it. I give 0 fucks about it. I am not going to flip on my Xbox to look for a new ad just to freaking play. But I could see
But if there's an
doing
ad that I see and it happens to look fun, I'll try it.
But if it's
Fuck you.
kick-ass,
You're already sold. You're the audience.
No. Now, well, okay. I could be sold if they tied it into their Xbox rewards program.
look at you. You're
If you
marketing
went
yourself.
in-
I love this.
And like, say you got 5 Xbox points for the first, time through this little
Ad
mini
that you
game.
played, and if you played 20 ads, you got 50
Exactly.
fucking Xbox Live credits.
Exactly. Maybe a little more points to it, but along those lines. But if I'm not getting Xbox Live points for it, or
So
some
you're just a
sort of-
whore.
You're a whore.
yeah,
You're a consumer
I
whore,
gotta be
to be
out.
fair.
Yeah,
Well-
I
well,
gotta
bef-
get paid.
Before I forget to do this, I have to give Derek his segue here. So, D Smooth, what do you think of that story?
Joel, this story has me saying, "What the fuck?"
Had to get it in there.
All right, I'll cut that back around after.
That was for you. That was for you. I like to keep you on track, keep things pretty for you. You know. But
My bad.
Yeah, this is fucked up. I don't know. I don't know if I would ever play one of these. But then again, it might be more subtle than it is now. Like, I don't know if either of you guys ever wear a headset when you're playing on the Xbox,
yeah, sure.
but that's pretty much how I rock all the time. When you're rocking through the dashboard, silence, silence, silence. And if you accidentally go over the ad in the bottom
yeah,
right-hand
the mouse
corner of
over.
any of those tabs, all of a sudden the volume kicks in and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you rip off your headset because you haven't yet tested your volume because you just signed on an Xbox Live, and it's fucked up.
It's annoying. It's funny now that LB has given his perspective. I actually think his idea would work. That kind of makes the most sense, having sort of a reason to view the ad, a reason to sort of kind of get involved and be a part of that advertising. Isn't that really what social advertising is about nowadays anyway? That's kind of the move. So,
Well, I think Microsoft just realized today even, and they announced that they understand the whorishness of Xbox consumers, and they said, in the future, the what's that called? The Xbox Live Rewards, or what's that program
right.
called? Is that what it's called?
I think it is.
Xbox Live Rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they said coming in this fall, you're going to start getting rewards based on gamer score.
Oh yeah, I
Not
just read
your
that.
total gamer score, but gamer score within games. Like
Yeah.
earn X amount of gamer score in a game, you get some. So they're constantly seeing that there's this carrot in front of consumers where even if you give them some shitty amount of credits on the Xbox system, which eventually is supposed to be switching to cash anyway, but you give people fucking what the equivalent of 50 cents is. And they're like, "Oh my god, I got free fucking Xbox Live points!" But it's such an insignificant amount of money, but it's enough that people just go for that free thing.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I think you're right. Well, this will be one of those things where it's either going to fail miserably, or we're all gonna, like, 2 months from now, we're gonna be shocked that they've made $6 billion and they're paying, like, because this is the thing that I could totally see consumers, for whatever reason, I don't know, because we're mindless fucking idiots, that everyone's gonna be.
Yeah, this sounds
look,
good
this
to
is
me.
I'm gonna go on an adventure with Toyota. Me and Toyota
That's
on an
right.
adventure. It sounds awful.
my Toyota with Connect. Look at my hands.
Look at me. I'm stopping at a Burger King to get a value meal number 4. Oh, this is the greatest.
Use your hands with the Connect to eat your French fries.
Speak into the Connect microphone to tell everyone how much you love the golden delicious French fries. These are so good. I love advertising.
Pretend to be the Burger King window guy. Thank you. Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?
Interact with your friends. He's the burger guy and you're the guy in the drive-thru. Hello, Derek Nolan. Can I please have a large burger with fries?
Could you please repeat that? Couldn't hear you.
It's like real life. I can't wait to play. God, I've never been
Hell
so
yeah.
depressed.
Multiplayer experiences in ads.
Christ.
Derek Knowles invite you to the Burger King ad.
That's when it gets really shitty. Yes. When you can invite the friend into the ad, it is fucking over, dude.
It's coming.
Oh, it's
though.
coming.
Yeah, I joke,
coming.
but
Yeah.
some's going to invite you into a Pizza Hut ad.
Yeah, that's
and
not
you're gonna
a
be
joke.
like, what the fuck?
That's a joke. Oh,
Oh,
God.
wow,
Avoid
that
the
is
Noid, people.
fucked up.
Avoid the Noid. I'm going to say that right now.
Avoid the Noid.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And on that, let's jump over into the mailbag and voicemails. Altius asks, the fall is full of huge game titles like Far Cry 3, Borderlands 2, Medal of Honor Warfighter, Assassin's Creed 3, Halo 4, and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. You obviously can't play them all. Which ones will you pick and why? LB, I'm starting with you.
I'm going with Borderlands 2 and Halo 4 with a
Side dish of
maybe,
Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I love that. Is it just me, or is that? I feel like that's all of our answers. Is going to be like maybe Black Ops. It's like that sort of game where everyone's
it's really
like,
hard to like narrow this down. But yeah, I think.
yeah,
Well, see, because this is it's probably more difficult for me because I fucking fell in love with Assassin's Creed 3. At PAX East it started and it was furthered at E3. I might say I'm getting all of these except for Medal of Honor Warfighter.
which is weird because Medal of Honor Warfighter got a lot of like really good press, but I have to agree, I'm not attracted to it. Far Cry for me is the big one on there. And
Far Cry was so besides
violent,
like the fact that they opened up the E3 presser with like sex and
with an anal
and
backdoor romance banging. Seriously, it was. No, it was.
Was it?
You could tell by the look on her face. It was in the wrong hole.
Yeah. First you
right
see
now.
a chick's face.
Yeah.
And then the camera pans down and you're like, oh, it's chick's face and titties. Then it pans down and zooms out and you're like, holy shit, she's fucking riding a guy. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So it was that awesome.
The game might suck, but if there's, violence and sex in it.
The game was super
Pre-ordered.
violent too. But
Yeah, they're slitting throats and
I
shit.
think obviously, Jay, he's become anti-Halo. But for me, Halo 4 is a must. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, usually I skip the Treyarch titles, but something in E3 clicked me into that, and I said, I'll give it a shot. I think Borderlands 2, Borderlands was such a great game, that combination of FPS and RPG, that there's just something fun about it, and the looting, and I don't know, that kind of sucks me in. But then you got Far Cry 3, which is completely goes over the top in the Far Cry series, and Assassin's Creed 3, which is kind of hey, you're sick of Assassin's Creed? Well, here's a reboot that's still the same sort of game, but you know what? You're fucking in, and it's my area of the country, and it just, I don't know. I'm pumped for almost all these games.
Yeah, you're the buy it all type of guy. No, like you're gonna
But
get
I'm
them
really
all.
not though.
Yeah.
I always think I'm gonna buy it all,
But
I
you don't.
don't. But these are certainly buy it alls.
Okay.
Far Cry 3, I've already pre-ordered. Borderlands 2, I've pre-ordered.
Wow.
Medal of Honor, no. Assassin's Creed 3, not available for pre-order yet, but I
you
will
will.
order that. Blops 2, as much as I hate saying it, I'm going to buy this game. Halo 4, already pre-ordered.
Wow. Well, I will say, for me, Borderlands was like one of the best games on the show. I never played Borderlands 1, so it's really exciting for me. Because when I played Borderlands, no.
God damn, dude, that was so much fun.
All I did, I played, the first
You
time
felt
I
like
even
a poser
picked it up.
when we were in there.
Oh, dude, I was kicking ass, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, I was done before you. I don't want to name names.
I don't know if
people
you
out.
noticed, but instead of being paired with me or Tiff, you were paired with a ringer.
You think he was a ringer?
Oh, who
Dude,
carried
let me
you,
let me
yeah.
let me give you a little secret right here. I fucking rezzed that dude like 8 times. He sucked balls. If you're out there, random dude I played with, what the fuck, bro? Seriously, you fucking stand in front of shit, get shot, and he was giving me the giving me the reach.
was Randy Pitchford.
Yeah, right. And he would get shot. He would get shot and he'd like fall down and he'd do that. Seriously, so because he was in back of me, he'd do this. He'd be like, he'd do the bro, what the fuck up? He'd give me the pump, like, dude, what the bro, you gonna fucking res me? And I'd be like,
help a brother out. Help a brother out. Let's go. Let's do that.
yeah, fuck that dude. Anyway, great game. Super excited. That's my main pick, and then probably Far Cry. And even though I hate Halo, it's number 3 on my list to purchase. It's before Black Ops, if that says anything. And that's only because I have to buy the game. LB won't even let me. I have no choice.
You fucker. You're getting
It's
it.
guaranteed. So those are my 3. Good stuff.
Nice.
Anybody else? No, we're done.
All right.
All right.
LB, any more input here?
Well, along with the Borderlands 2, I got a chance to watch the video that was posted on the front page today, and you got Randy up there doing his whole blah, 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 check this out, da, da, da. And then he said, the 5th character, and I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, dude.
And then it's like, yeah, and then you can make mechs, and I was like, what? And right after that, I swear to God, I thought about, kids are home today. We need to go get some lunch. Maybe we could stop at GameStop and I could pre-order. I mean, it was that reactive for me. I was like, holy
We'll
shit.
definitely go pre-order Borderlands 2, but we'll certainly not get any Lego games.
Right, not for the
Kids.
children. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Don't be looking at that
Go
stuff.
play with your Barbies and other shit, because you will not be on any Xbox.
There will be no
in
gaming
this
for you.
house.
No.
Well, did you see even the
No, you fucking agreed.
the only 3 comments that are on that story on the front page are pre-ordered. It's like pre-ordered, and everyone and the in-betweens are like, did you guys see the mech? Yep, pre-ordered. That's it. that's you see that video and you're like, yep. And that's the big thing, and I give them tons of credit, man. If you don't pre-order, you don't get them. You got to pay for the mech DLC later down the road. So this is like, you best be
Seal
fucking getting that
the
wall
deal
out.
now
Seal the
and
deal.
win later.
It's all about closing. Always be closing, people. There you go.
All right. Well, give us a shout, 773-527-2961. You can also comment in the episode 204 thread in the podcast and vidcast forum on tooltoplay.com. And sponsors. Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help to support Tool to Type Radio. Audible, for you, the listeners of Tool to Type Radio, Audible is a very special deal for you. They're offering you a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Wow, somebody's laughing or squeaking.
That's LB's chair.
One of those. Are you one of those people that likes to read a book before you go see the movie and ruin it for yourself? Well, I got something for you. This weekend, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter by Seth Grahame-Smith. The movie's coming out on Friday, but today you can download this book on Audible, you can listen to it, and you can ruin the movie for yourself. And, you can be one of those guys, the movie just wasn't as good as the book. But that guy's a douche. So, really, because the movie's way better always on every movie. Right, guys?
What? I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll cut that so it sounds perfect later in the podcast. Because that's what I do. So you guys both agreed. Now, to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/tool-to-type. Again, that's audibletrial, the number 2 old, the number 2 type. Get your free audiobook. You know what? You can cancel anytime you want. You can cancel as soon as you download it. It costs you nothing. But you know what? Once you listen to it, you're going to want to stay because Audible's the shit. I've actually, legitimately, no bullshit aside, I've been an Audible subscriber since 2001. And there's some good books out there, and we don't have time for books. We play games. So you get in the car, you listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks. You bang them out of the way, someone else reads them to you, and it's the same as reading. Hell, when I listen to audiobook, I call it reading.
It's the same as reading. Well, I will say, if anyone ever says, hey, did you read that book? And I listen to the downloaded version, yeah, I fucking read that book. Of course I read that book. Someone read it to me, but I read that book.
If you listen to an audiobook and you heard every word of the unabridged version, you read the book.
Agreed.
Well, someone read it to you, but it's the same fucking thing. Fuck that.
Wow. It's the angriest.
Audible's the shit. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
All right, if you'd like to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Fire us off an email, podcast@toolplay.com. Tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you what you're paying. You pay us, we'll sell it. Boom, done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/tool-to-type_radio. I, king of the internet, got of everything that's holy at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
I am everything that is awesome and more. And you can find me at twitter.com/DudeIRock.
I'm going to do this one time just for Derek. I am Mike Elbisuki Coppola on Twitter.
Go there.
Find me.
That was so awesome.
Oh, dear God. Don't ever do anything
pro.
for Derek again like that. That's
Elbisuki is pro.
That's just... my faith in you has been lost.
And for those of you that don't know how to spell Elbisuki, it's Lbsutke.
Dick.
Also, you can find us on Facebook and like us. You can find Tool to Play at facebook.com/Tool-to-Play. Tool to Type Radio is at facebook.com/Tool-to-Type Radio. No underscore there. I am at facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
You can find me over at facebook.com/DudeIRock.
You ain't going to find me.
He hides.
You're going to find him at facebook.com/Michael Coppola, spelled like Francis Ford.
Would you like me to give the correct spelling? I can do that for you.
God damn it.
Coppola. Also, please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. Give us 5 stars, like we deserve. Give us an awesome review, like we deserve. Something in the order of, these guys are gods, they make my day better, I almost killed myself, but then I accidentally downloaded the podcast, and now I'm a fucking bastion of Tool to Type Radio. Doesn't matter. Just whatever. Just give us a fucking 5-star review. Write something nice. Toot our horn. Goose our ass. Boom. Done. And I guess on that, guys, now that we have a reasonable length episode tonight, right in our usual 1 hour length, we will wrap this fucker up. I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
I am Mike LB SUTKE Coppola.
Oh, thank you for joining us, bitches.
Later, guys.
Peace.
All right. That was good.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap. Hey, can you, Derek, you want to come into my adventure? I'm gonna ride around.
Mom, tell me that I want to come over and play your Connect advertisements.
I'm so excited.
And we're going to munch some
I want
bags.
to, you guys maybe come to my co-op game, and you come through the drive-thru. I'll get you a burger. It's gonna be super
I would
awesome.
like some co-op with you. That would be really sweet. And I heard you have that new Burger King ad.
You think they'll trade ads
where we
like
get to make the burgers?
that? God, I hope they do.
You trade me 2 McDonald's, quarter pounder of cheese, and I will take your Burger King and Toyota pickup truck. And
I
that's
don't have the Toyota, but I have the Doritos.
Oh God, it's so awful.
I have Sneak King Connect.
Oh shit.